condition I had on the product line list to say, okay, yes, I want you to show the product line selected, but if there is a product type, only show it if the product type isn't set. Now that I run this, you'll see that as I expand, now I'm not showing, I only show product type line selected when the product line and no product types are selected. So I'm going to jump ahead now because going to the next level is just repeating the same thing inside. And the end result is here where I've expanded everything out. So that as you go down, it expands down. Oh, one thing I didn't show, which I wish I'd kept. Okay. I didn't show you how I did these little arrows here. So what I want is, as you're running it, and you go down, you can use these arrows to collapse back up. Right, now, I'll be showing this later on one of the other ones in more detail, but the way we achieve that is using, again, another deck to decide whether to show the down arrow or up arrow, depending on whether you're on a product line or not. So it's the same structure as the decks I had for the product types. But in it, I put what we call a static repeater table. So it's our generic building block control that just doesn't have any really structure to it. It just can draw a single thing or a set of things, and you can set conditions on it to set variables. So I've put the arrow in so that as I click it, I can either clear the product line or set or leave them all. Unfortunately, I jumped ahead, so I'll show it because I'm going to do it on another table. So I'll show you whatever I've drawn that one. It'll be easier then. So now that I've done this, I'm going to create the area to show the product image on the bottom and the summary rendering for it. So to do that, again, it's just another deck. And it's a data deck. This is actually a little simpler to build. I'm going to go off the products query again. Align it to the top. And I'm going to say, right, I want a card for each product. And I'm going to divide the top part in two, so I can show on the left the actual product name. And then on the right, I'm going to show the revenue, build up revenue. Select products, I can see the individual product images. So to do that, I'm going to put the water over there so I can center it. To here. I'm just going to drag over and insert the product image. And I'm going to center it. So now I've got this deck, but now I need it to actually drive it so that as I'm clicking on products, I will see the individual products. So one thing I want is I want a default card so that when there's no product selected, I don't see anything here. And then I will also set the container selection condition to say, right, when the product variable is set, show the product. So now as I run this, here, I'm able to show the different products. Now you see right now the layout doesn't look great, the styling doesn't look great, and I always defer that to the end because really I'm more interested in getting the interaction working properly. The layout can be easily adjusted at the end once you've got it. It's the interactions that are the hard part. If you get too focused on the layout, you end up adding more stuff and you make it more complicated at the end. This just keeps it a lot simpler. So, moving on to the next step, I'm going to jump ahead again. So now that I've got all this, now I'm going to focus on adding my filter recording on the right. So to do that, I'm going to use a deck. And a deck is a very versatile thing. It allows us to do all sorts of conditional hiding and showing stuff. But I'm not going to use a data deck, I'm going to use what we call a static deck. Because the accordions are static areas, I'm going to have just 3 sections of filtering. One is product color, introduction year, and region. So for this deck, I'm going to want a default card, and that's going to be where I put my unexpanded state, we'll call it that. So for that, I'm just going to drag over text item. No, actually, I'm going to do a static repeater, because I'll make this clickable. So I'm going to put a static repeater table. And you see by default, it gives me 3 values. It does 3 static values. Really, I just want 1 for this. I'm going to go into its definition, and I'm going to delete 2 of them, so I only have 1. And then I'm going to delete the value it shows here and just drag a text item in. And I'm going to take my little icon I have here. Paste it in, and this is going to be my product color area. Get rid of the annoying padding by default. So by default, repeater tables have 3 padding. And for my static deck, I'm going to want to set the cards on it. So it comes with 3 cards. I've already removed 2 of them. One of them I'm going to call expanded. So this is going to represent the card I want to show the expanded state. The default will represent when it's not expanded. So I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to copy this static repeater table from here, and I'm going to put it over in my expanded state card. But then I'm going to change the icon it shows to be the down icon. And I'm going to change. So actually, I can set the condition. So what I want is, when I'm not expanded, when I click on the static repeater, I'm going to want to set a variable that will allow it to show the expanded state. And I want it to work in conjunction with the other accordions. So just like I did for the product tree, I'm going to create all the variables I need in advance. So I'm going to have a product color filter region. Year region, sorry, filter, and I'm going to have a region filter. And what I'm going to do is when he clicks on this unexpanded item, I'm going to set the product color filter to be expanded, and I'll set all the other ones to be empty. So this will basically, if they're expanded, it will force them to all be collapsed. Over here on the expanded card, I'm going to add in what I want to show, so I'm going to block. And I want to show the set of checkboxes for the product color. So I'll go over to Toolbox, grab that checkbox group, and then from over here, products. I'll drag over the product color. Change its orientation so that it's vertical. And if I select the block, I can use tab it so it's indented. And then as well, I'm going to set the variables on this static repeater table to force it to collapse. And to do that, I'm basically just going to set all of the filter variables to empty. So now if I've done it correctly, I can run this. I should now have, oh, see, it's not working. So why is that? So clearly I'm showing the expanded is the thing that I always forget to do, which is I didn't set the condition that determines which card to show in the deck. So that, you just come back, select the deck. Selection condition, in this case, it's when the product color is equal to the label, so I named the card expanded so that way I can here because it's trying to balance and it's doing a very poor job. We'll adjust that to make it look better. So if I jump to the next step on this one, we'll see as I open this. And we have the various areas of expanding collapse. And if I look at the variables that are being done, you can see that as I do things, the expanded state just keeps moving from one item to the other, and that's why the other ones collapse down, no matter which one I click on. Okay, so for the next step now, I'm going to put in the visualization. This will start to make it a little bit